Hey there, fellow industrialists. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to The Last Starship, Episode 4, Running a Stargate Building Factory. Alexander James Ellistar. My name is Alexander James Ellistar. I'm the chairman and founder of AJE Industries. I have a business proposition for you. If you would be interested in setting up a production facility for me, I believe with some luck and a good deal of hard work, we can both make substantial returns. Please give me a call to discuss the details. Captain, perhaps you are already aware, but there are big plans underway within the sector. There are designs to build something incredible. A transportation system with near infinite range, requiring state-of-the-art manufacturing and industry. A Stargate big enough for our most massive fleets, shuttling humanity between galaxies as if they were nothing but neighboring stars. A new multi-galactic era for humanity. In all my years, I've never known so much capital to be allocated into one project. There's a golden opportunity here for us, but the barrier to entry are high. I have the assets and capital and the facilities we need to fulfill the Andromeda's project massive ambitions. Sadly, my days of running the shop floor in person are long behind me. I need a floor manager, someone who will oversee the day-to-day operations for me, and my years of experience have taught me to spot talent when I see it. Here's my proposal. I'll provide the factory station and the seed capital, and you are fully funded. So you'll be fully funded. You'll set up the production facility for me and oversee the day-to-day operations, manufacturing parts of the Andromeda project to their specifications. We'll split the profits 50-50. And believe me when I say there will be plenty to go around. Except... wonderful news. I'm happy you've agreed to partner with me on this. My factory station is in position nearby, ready for us to use as our base of operations. This is the AJE Foundry. A wonderful industrial facility, perfect for our needs. I'll just need to approve you with some access codes so you can assume control of the facility. Look at that! For years I manufactured engines and FTL drives right here for every fleet that has passed through the sector. It's really fallen into disrepair. Your first job is to send over a skeleton crew and establish basic power generation and life support. I had previous crew box up some of the usable equipment. You should find the parts you need are already in storage. Add crew to the station, install a reactor, install an air duct, pressurize the facility. Cheers. And you know what? If he's giving me the foundry, I'm going to rename it after you guys. So raffle timer's up for the name of the AJE Foundry. If I can rename it. I think I can. Once I, yeah, I can rename it. So the logistics drones on our own ship are already trying to repair the thing, which is nice. As you can see, these are the logistics drones repairing the outside that fell to disrepair. And just like we did before, what we're going to want to do is, well, first, let's go and buy all 10 crew. Does the foundry have any suits? I don't see any spacesuits. So I'm going to go over to the foundry here and go to storage and go spacesuits. And I'm going to put a spot for spacesuits right there. Logistics, foundry. And move over 10 spacesuits right now. Okay, and then let's do the same thing for crew. And I know I need to buy more spacesuits to replace what we lost on the Scorpio. We'll also move over food and water as well. So taking a look, we have for habitation, I'm buying some new spacesuits. So over to the foundry. I'm gonna detach from Scorpio. And let's go ahead and install a reactor. Well, alright, first things first, let's go ahead and get rid of some of these like unnecessary walls. Because there's some like just weird walls all around some of these sections here. Like there's random walls here and random walls here that I'll just get rid of because we don't need them. Next, let's install the reactor. So I'm going to install a reactor there, a fuel loader next to it, and then a medium tank there. Pipe it up. And that will install the reactor for the first task. And then the other thing is we need an air duct to pressurize. So I'll put an air duct here. And then a oxygen loader here. Perfect. And for the fuel loader, I want to load fuel, not unload fuel. You can do the opposite if you want. So, as far as cables go, we'll hook up the oxygen as well. There we go. Now, power and oxygen are running on this station, and the atmosphere of the station will go from no oxygen to oxygen over time. It will take a minute, but obviously, we're getting that set up. There we go, it's getting pressurized. So, we've got 10 crew, 10 suits. Cool. And then on the Scorpio, we have 10 crew and 10 suits. Perfect. Don't need to worry about that. Alright, now that it is pressurizing, we'll be able to make use of this this station more. And the name of this station is the T-Money. That works well, given that it's a station that makes money. And the station's author is going to be Jay Shea. T-Money by Jay Shea. So congrats. Okay. T-Money is low on oxygen, so let's go ahead and buy some oxygen before it runs out. We need to tidy up the mess, but nothing needs to be wasted. We can recycle all the raw material found on the station. There's an industrial smelter among the boxed equipment. Install it and power it up, and then set it to recycle all the scrap metal. This will give us an early supply of metal ingots, a critical resource in manufacturing anything. Efficiency is going to be the key to this facility turning a profit. Set a storage zone for scrap metal near your smelter and another for metal ingots that comes out. The crew will waste a lot less time carrying goods long distances. Alright, before I even do that, I'm going to change where my docking ports are, because I don't even like where the docking ports are, which means undocking with Scorpio. So I'm going to put a docking port here and leave the other one not installed just yet. So what we want to do is install smelters. So here is going to be a zone for scrap metal all around this docking port. And then I'm going to install a smelter. Let's see. We'll do one smelter for now. And then cable this up. Actually, you know what? I don't want to use this section at all. I take that back. Let's dismantle this and dismantle that. And I am... I'll actually leave the docking port there. But I want to set this smelter up here. This will make a little bit more sense like later on. Don't worry about it. It's not worth explaining, trust me. Alright, it also wants me to dismantle the ruined equipment, so I'm going to go around and all the junk left on the station, I'm going to get rid of. And these things will dismantle into scrap metal that then we can use to smelt into metal ingots. So, right-click the smelter, and we're going to be smelting scrap metal. And I'm going to put storage for scrap metal in this tunnel here, like that. And then, on the other side of the smelter, I'm going to have a storage for metal ingots. I could draw your attention to the schematic issued by the Andromeda project. You can see it's actually quite a simple part. It's just a structural framework onto they'll build everything else. We can manufacture these parts in 2 stages out of metal ingots. I've left a boxed fabricator and assembly table on the station. Set them up next to each other, ideally near the metal ingots. Once they're installed, set the fabricator to fabricate frames, and then set the assembly table to specialize them into Stargate frames. It's simple stuff, but we'll eventually need a huge throughput. They want to provide an initial batch of 10 Stargate frames for certification. They'll inspect our work and will be approved as soon as the official partners in the Andromeda project. Shouldn't take too long. If you run out of metal, remember you can recycle more of the ruined equipment around the facility. So, we're going to install a fabricator. I'm going to put it here. And then we'll cable that up. And then this thing is set up for scrap metal smelting. So the fabricator, we want to make 5 metal ingots into a frame, which will take 10 seconds. Then I'm going to put a storage for frames here. And then last but not least, we'll have the assembly table. And the assembly table will take the frames, 2 frames, and make a Stargate frame out of it. And Stargate frames will go here. And this is like assembly 101. This is like the basic level assembly. So it's not complex in any way. Speaking of which, research. Let's research the Andromeda Project Part 1. Another thing you might assume is like, yeah, we're going to want to scale this up. Because, you know, this is very basic for now. But let's also put storage for the suits. So we'll do 3 suits here. 3 suits here. 2 suits here. 2 suits here. I don't think we're going to have a breach. It's not like this is in a hostile sector, so it's not going to come under fire. There's no, like, asteroids, meteorites, anything like that. So it should be fine. I still have equipment to be dismantled? Oh, no, I just... Okay. Close the menu by clicking the construction. Okay. Let's use the scrap metal to produce metal ingots on the smelter. Right-click the smelter. The smelter will start producing metal ingots after it's finished heating up. Yep. Okay, cool. So now we have some industry ratings, too. As you can see, we're industry rank 1. Because we're making stuff. And here is our first Stargate frame. Yeah, it does look like I have way more suits in here than I need. I have 20 suits here on board. So I will sell 10 of them. And now we're positioning them around the base. Alright, we've already made 5 Stargate frames. The Scorpio has 10 suits. It needs 6 more suits, so I should just transfer them over, but whatever. Alright, now the Scorpio has all that it needs. If you install a jump drive, can you relocate the station? Yes. The station is not... it has no propulsion right now. And obviously we needed a lot of propulsion given its mass, but you can fly it around if you want. Alright, delivering the 10 frames for certification now. I'm also going to buy 4 batteries to install on this thing. So they're doing the certification now to see if we've made Stargate frames properly. And if we have, then we are an official contracted partner. Our next research we'll do... let's do metallurgy for smelter efficiency. That's probably going to be the biggest bang for the buck going forward, I'd imagine, so we'll get that next. Research power is still set on low? Yeah, I'll check on that right now. Power grid. Kick up the research. Done. This message is for the T-Money Foundry. We've received your samples and can report that they have passed comfortably within our engineering tolerances. You are formally approved as licensed industry partners and may now manufacture all items in our design manifest. Batches of completed parts may now be submitted to the Andromeda project through the open marketplace. You'll find our buyers are ready to release funds for any parts manufactured to specification. Thank you for your endeavors and good luck. Alexander says, excellent. Let's take a look at the manifest that he mentioned and see what is required next. So click the Stargate button down here in the menu. The Stargate screen displays everything you need. Everything you need to manufacture to complete the current phase. Each component you need to manufacture is on the right. Placing your mouse over the component shows how to produce it. The Stargate construction is split into phases, each with a phase requiring more and more resources. You have just completed phase 1. To complete phase 2, we need to continue manufacturing Stargate frames. Instead of 10, we need 200. Sell your frames by trading at the trading post to submit them to the Andromeda project. You can now close the Stargate screen. Looks like it's just a bulk order of the part we already produced. We need to make 200 more Stargate frames. We've already manufactured them, but we'll need to scale up production or this will take forever. So you just gave me 600K. I'm releasing some of the seed money to you. 600,000 should be enough for you to buy all the equipment needed to scale up. Remember, this isn't a gift. I still own the station and all the equipment aboard. I suggest you buy more smelters, fabricators, and assembly tables. A couple of each at least. All that equipment will draw more juice, so you'll need to expand the power network with more reactors and batteries to cope, and you'll need more crew to do the work. If you run out of metal ingots, you should be able to buy the raw materials from the open marketplace. You can usually buy scrap metal, but you'll also find metallic minerals for sale, which can also be smelted into metal ingots. New objective, scale up production. So, 3 scrap metal becomes 1.2 metal ingots because we have a smelter efficiency of 25 bonus in 10 seconds. And then 5 metal ingots becomes a frame in 10 seconds. So we would need like a 5-to-1 ratio of metal smelters to fabricators. So let's first buy smelters. So in industry, go to smelters, max it out. There we go. 5 smelters. Now, I'm going to do another fabricator because some of these smelters have, like, efficiency bonuses, so it's not exactly the right ratio. So we are also going to buy 1 more assembler and 1 more fabricator. Fabricator. And if there's not an assembler here... No, there is. I could always have Scorpio go buy one, but there was one. Okay, so install, fab, and assemble. And cable those up as well. Now, very likely we're going to outpace the amount of power that we produce when spinning this up. So when that happens, we'll do extra reactors too. Is there a reason some have efficiency bonuses? It's because we researched it. We researched metallurgy level 1 for or science for smelter efficiency 25. So it's a research bonus. All right. Yep. The demand for power is greater than the output, so trade energy reactor. We don't need another loader or anything like that. The other thing I want to do is storage for fuel cells here. And then we'll do storage for oxygen here. And then let's do food and water here, just to be able to see it. There we go. And eventually we're going to want like CO2 scrubbing as well, but I don't need to worry about that at this moment. Oh, I put the reactor right where the fuel cells are going, but that's fine. Alright, let's buy some additional fuel, because we're very low on fuel. Now we're producing more power. So if we take a look at the power grid here, we're producing enough power to keep everything supplied, which is good. We are running through our scrap metal. Each stack is a stack of 20. So, in the trade, if we go to resources, we can buy scrap metal for 20 a piece, or metallic minerals for 30? A stack of 30? Metallic minerals is ultimately the better deal, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a storage here of both scrap metal and metallic minerals, so I'll put the metallic minerals at the bottom. And we'll start transitioning from scrap metal to metallic minerals, because metallic minerals is more reliably supplied. Can I show you the station's crew quarters? It doesn't look like anything. It's just that. So we have up to 94 cabins, and that's it. All right, there's no more Stargate frames, storage. So we filled up the storage for this. So storage for the Stargate frames will increase in size. And the other thing I wanted to do here is install a docking port here to be able to easily sell it once we're done. So we don't need a lot of storage for the interim products, because the interim products should never really stock up that high. It's the final products that are stocking up high. And then, of course, the way to actually make money off of this is to go to the trade, go to the sell, and sell it. Holding left control sells all. I knew this would be a very profitable endeavor for us. The Andromeda Project are so desperately in need of reliable manufacturing facilities that they're paying a fortune. Now the sales revenue is going to flow through you, but remember our agreement of 50-50. I put a lot of capital in this to get to this point, so I need to start seeing return. So I'm going to pay them 25K. Every time you sell a batch of parts to the Andromeda Project, you'll owe me half the revenue. I appreciate you. Pay promptly. Payment received. Thank you, Captain. All right, this smelter I'm going to move over to metallic minerals, as will this one and this one. Transitioning away from using scrap metal. Unfortunately, the shuttle waiting to pick up the frames docked up there can't really be helped. Now, this whole facility could probably be like modified to be better suited for our needs, and I might like tackle that later on, but I'm not too worried about that for the scope of this this individual mission. Now the assembly table takes 20 seconds at 2 frames, and this produces 1 frame at 10 seconds, so they're about equal. It does look like there's some frames building up, though, so maybe due to the transport time, it would make sense to get another assembly table just to keep up so that it doesn't back up with frames. But ultimately, I don't think it's a big, it's not all that important in the scheme of things. But I'll do it anyway. I do not. So I'm going to also install the small tank, and the small tank is our oxygen supply of oxygen that we've already pumped out of the canisters. So pipes, ox tank. And the scrap has been scrapped. Yep. So now that this doesn't have any scrap metal left to... Well, you know what? We could also buy scrap metal. So because the resource inputs are so cheap, ultimately, like buying all the scrap metal is like $500. It like doesn't really matter what we buy, ultimately, because it's just not a big deal. So I'll just keep supplying scrap metal and metallic metal. I don't really care specifically what we're doing here. All right, so this one should be making Stargate frames. And then we'll maybe do one more fabricator. And that's probably all the industry I'll add for now, because there's a lot of other industry that we're going to need to add later on, and I don't want to, like, I want to have the budget for it for later on. Oh, that fabricator is... There we go. And this is going to make frames. So we've made about a quarter of these Stargate frames we need. Seems reasonable. Other things. We have only a few days of food left. I think what we could do is expand the metal ingot storage and expand the frame storage, because there's like plenty of room for now. And in order to sort of control where things are delivered and sold, I'm going to disable or dismantle both docking ports and just have like one universal docking port here, splitting the difference, because this is sort of like close to everything. So let's go ahead and do another batch sell of the Stargate frames, all 36 being sold. And I'll even sell our extra docking port. Yeah. Then while we're at it, let's go ahead and buy oxygen, fuel, food and water, just a whole lot of it, so that I don't have to worry about supplying oxygen, fuel, water, etc. And you also notice that our industry level is now higher than everything else because we've been, like, making so much stuff for this mission. So it's outpaced everything else. Paying Alexander what he's owed, half the profits and all. And then over here in the jobs tab, you can kind of see, like, what your crew's doing. And then here you can see if they're idle. So if I consistently have no idle crew, that's a pretty good indicator that I need to hire extra crew. Which isn't the case right now, so I'm not worried about it. And we're just going to keep cranking out these Stargate frames. So while they're cranking out the Stargate frames, how about we do this? Contracts. Let's go ahead and try a rank 5 combat mission. Wow, I still have had battle stations up on Scorpio. Sorry! They're probably like, guys? We've been told to fight for like the last 3 days. There's not enough methamphetamines to go around to get us ready for this. So the Team Money Station is going to be like making the Stargate frames while we do combat. You can multitask, it's no problem. And we are against a bigger... Well, that has a bunch of solar panels, but some bigger ships. So let's aim for the Dragonfly immediately. Oof. Them be able to volley. Ouch, ouch. Okay, alright. No, I just blew up the Scorpio. I'm gonna live with it. I blew it up. It's gone. That is a hell of a gunboat. Look at this thing. What the hell, man? I didn't realize they had like a bajillion cannons all lined up. Just a directional gunboat. Oh well, it happens. Sorry, Scorpio, you're dead now. So I can fabricate a ship from scratch, or I can buy used ships. So like this one's for sale. This is, I mean, it's not much of a ship, but it's for sale. The whole naval station technically is for sale, if you want to buy a whole naval station. I don't have 43 million, but like if you know, had that kind of money. Well, for now, I'm just gonna focus on fulfilling the industrialist quests. So I'll just go to 40 speed, I think 30 speed runs a little bit smoother, and whip through the Stargate frames. We're going to need more resource inputs. And there's a lot more metallic minerals available in the market than there is scrap metal. So I'm going to... Yeah, I have like 4 on scrap metal, or metallic minerals and 1 on scrap metal. Keep doing research? Yeah, I guess I'll add research back to this vessel. Sure. Because we did lose our science abilities. So, put a science station in. Supercomputer. And make sure the power grid can support it. Yeah, seems fine. We've got half of these Stargate frames already. Let's keep selling them when we can. And it looks like we already had a scrap metal, huh? Luckily, yeah, those resources are just constantly being resupplied. So it's not hard to keep metal smelting up. Now, if you're wondering, the tutorial will eventually, this tutorial will walk me through mining eventually, which is why I'm not doing mining right now. Because we'll get to it, and I don't want to jump the gun. I don't need to get ahead of myself. I think I'm going to do some radical changes, though. I'm going to remove, like, I'm going to remove, like, everything over here. Before I do that, let's go ahead and undo these walls. And then grab, like, the floating stuff. Remove the suit storage over here. Because I don't really need this section right now. And I wouldn't want to space things out that far anyway. So, dismantle those 4. Storage for equipment. Anything boxed will go there. That way we haul it out. Storage for suits. I probably need one more suit now that I hired a scientist, so we'll do a scientist suit and then the other suits that I have sitting around. Install or edit. I'm gonna create a no, not erase, draw. A wall here, which is mirrored up there because of the symmetry line. Confirm. And then erasing the hull here. Confirm. Erase the scaffolding everywhere. I don't need scaffolding. And then erase these walls. Confirm. I think it might look boring, but squaring it up might be nicer, like making it rectangular. Confirm. Adding floors in those spaces. Confirm. And then not worrying about the doors. So our factory is a lot more rectangular, but like easier to manage as a result. Keep it simple. So we have the, like, service, the service part. We are starting to get CO2 buildup, so let's go ahead and buy a scrubber. It's a habitation, CO2 scrubber, and a small tank. And we'll do the air reprocessor later. I don't need that right now. Install scrubber tank. Cable it up. Pipe it up. And now we're breathing fine. Embrace the Borg cube style, yeah. Alright, we finished the research for Metallurgy 1. Let's get the Andromeda Project Part 2 next. And we have almost all the Stargate frames done. So I'm not going to buy any more raw materials. I know I'm out, but I'm intentionally not buying any more raw materials because I don't believe we'll need them for a bit. In the future, I think just forgetting scrap metal and doing metallurgy only is fine. So I'm adjusting for that. All right, trade, sell, 52 frames. And we only need to make 9 more. Food's fine, water's fine, oxygen's fine, fuel's fine, CO2 in the ship is fine. Everything looks good. And as far as habitation goes, we can have up to 42 cabins. So we're not near our pop max, in other words. There we go. We've made them all. Now, there's extra frames, which we can turn into Stargate frames. Just because we have fulfilled our contract doesn't necessarily mean there isn't a market for it. So we can keep selling stuff. We can, you know, as you can see, the metal ingots, the frames, they all have a market price. And they're greater than the raw minerals for input. All right, Stargate progress, phase 2 completed. Fantastic work, Captain. I had high expectations, but the process was even more smooth than I had hoped. We've made ourselves known as the to the Andromeda project now, but this is just the beginning. The latter phases of the project will no doubt be much more involved, but we are perfectly positioned to capitalize on this opportunity. And there is a lot of opportunity to be had. There are individuals behind this mega project with wealth and resources far beyond my comprehension, but their ambitions far exceed the capabilities of other ships and people in this sector. They're going to need our help. We can take a short break and give you a call when we're ready to start working on the next phase of the Stargate project. You might want to stop some of your equipment in the meantime. We don't want to waste anything. Goodbye for now. I'm not going to bother stopping because it doesn't really matter. Here we go. Logistics and industry ratings have gone up as a result. Thank you for tuning in to The Last Starship, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow admirals.